Hey, and welcome to today's second TV Tropes topic. If you didn't watch the last video, I'm doing this today because my hard drive's full up on gaming videos. I will be doing more tomorrow. I just decided to do some today because I really can't record any gaming videos. Today's second one is a long one. It is Contrived Coincidence. As a quote, "Now let's explore the improbable chain of events that led to this amusing yet tragic farce," said by Ray Magnini on The Simpsons. Never seen that episode. I don't really watch The Simpsons that much. In order to keep a story moving, things need to happen in a certain way. Sometimes everything is carefully set up and orchestrated so that events unfold in an organic, natural fashion. More often than not, though, things happen the way they do simply because destiny says so. There's just one tiny really problem with that theory. Sometimes destiny doesn't say so. Contrived coincidence describes a highly improbable occurrence in a story which is required by the plot, but which has absolutely no outward justification. Not so much as the character saying there are no coincidences. The concept of destiny is glossed over altogether, and the events in question are simply disguised as mere happenstance. This would be jarring, but most of the time no attention is drawn to the event at all. It's just a narrative convention decided to skip over lots of irrelevant stuff by putting the important events all together, leaving the audience to forget the improbability of the event. For example, when two characters are separated in a huge battle involving millions of combatants, they will bump into each other again just in time for one to save the other's life. This is not highlighted as an example of destiny or fortuity in any way, and in fact the improbability of the two people meeting again at such a convenient moment is ignored altogether. In many action-adventure show or movie, the protagonists are introduced to at the very beginning or portrayed to portray various gadgets that may invariably play perfectly into a dire situation they find themselves in later on. It has the potential to be reasonable, such as bringing hiking equipment to a mountainous terrain mission, but more often than not, it's just a flat-out ass pull. Honestly, what didn't Batman just so happen to carry in that little belt of his? And for that matter, RPGs and adventure games are particularly common offenders, as inventory coincidences are often used to maintain the progression of gameplay. It's not destiny, it's not by design. Heck, the writer may not even bother calling it a coincidence, it just happens. Deal with it and move on. In cases where the coincidence is acknowledged, it's likely a lampshade hanging. Characters may invoke maybe magic, maybe mundane, for that. Can be justified to a limited extent by the anthropic principle. See the other wiki, which it links you to Wikipedia. Unlikely coincidences are bound to happen once in a while. Exceptional things don't happen to the main characters because they are the main characters. Rather, they are designated main characters because exceptional things happen to them. In other words, there would be no story without this first exceptional coincidence. Make note that this is one of the most pervasive tropes out there. Just about any work of fiction, no matter how excruciating well written, is sure to use this as much as they are allowed. For a more grandiose or plot-wrapping version, see Deus Ex Machina. See also Fridge Logic for the moment it sinks in, and Not My Driver for the vehicular version. It's a Small World, after all, is a subtrope of this. So is the variant of framing the guilty party, where the one doing the framing didn't know that the party was guilty. Too many contrived coincidences may result in one degree of separation. Often, these can decide as a gambit roulette or a Xanatos gambit. And oh my goodness, that was long. So basically, when something happens and it's like 1,000,000 to 1 chance, and nobody ever says, "Wow, that was 1,000,000 to 1 chance that happened. How the heck did that happen?" You know, like okay. So examples. Man, Maximum Rise series is full of it, but the most egregious example, in my opinion, Book 4, they're saved by a random hurricane. Okay, they get captured and sent to Florida, and there's a random hurricane, and the building's windows aren't hurricane-proof randomly. I'm like, no, okay? And it happens to most superheroes in the fact that your friends or family either will die in some weird superhero comic book way, or will get superpowers because you're a superhero. There's an example in the new Star Trek movie. Okay, when President Spock shoots Kirk onto the planet, they didn't explain. You know, it's like he just randomly shot Kirk to the planet where future Spock was. It's like, no. And, the ending of Portal 2, spoilers for the end of Portal 2, where you shoot the portal right where the American flag is on the moon. That's a coincidence. the way Shadow looks the same. Shadow the Hedgehog looks exactly like Sonic, even though Shadow was created 50 years in the past. And the most the most egregious example I can think of, every single episode of Phineas and Ferb. Okay, because every episode they build something that their mom doesn't see. It gets blown away, and usually half the time it blows up or destroys whatever Doofenshmirtz is doing, or the opposite. Doofenshmirtz thing destroys whatever Phineas and Ferb did. So and it just runs on that. It runs on the belief that just crazy things happen. I mean, the characters even get used to it. Well, I think that was a very long-winded rant. Like I said, this is just a blip on the radar. I might do more next Tuesday if I still don't have any hard drive space. I do plan on doing some tomorrow. But until then, I will see you later. And keep reading TV Tropes because it's awesome.